Vigorous Syndicate. Today is my birthday. As you tell, I got the Cash App up there in the corner. If you want to buy your boy a beer, I won't be mad at you. But this is the only channel where wrist size is a lifestyle, not a medical condition. I'm your host, Joey, and today we're looking at something that could double as a personal anchor device. The Steeldive 87HH-05L. You know, typical Steeldive, container. But look at that. This thing is less of a watch and more of a metallic statement piece that screams, I could survive a nuclear pool party. All right, before we even talk specs, just look at it. That orange on black dial hits you like a traffic cone on caffeine. Big triangle markers, circular plots, orange sword hands. This watch doesn't whisper visibility, it screams it across the Mariana Trench. Now, I've got this monster on a 24mm engineer's bracelet, which honestly feels like it was designed by a bridge construction crew. Solid, industrial, and if you drop it, well, you probably dented the floor, not the watch. The stats, because numbers matter. Here we go. Steeldive, model 87HH-05L, case diameter 46.5 millimeters. Yes, it's a unit. Lug to lug, 55 millimeters. That's wrist dominance territory. Lug width, 24 millimeters. Wide enough to park your car on. Movement, automatic NH35. The Seiko workhorse, accurate, reliable, and utterly unpretentious. Water resistance, wait for it, 2,000 meters. 2,000 meters. That's 200 ATM. In other words, it'll outlive you, your dive gear, and possibly your scuba instructor. But let's be real. If you're 2,000 meters underwater, you're not checking on the time. You're meeting Poseidon. All right, let's talk about this case and design. The case is brushed stainless steel, no nonsense, all business. But as you can tell in these macro shots, they got vertical brushed instead of horizontal, which is a bold move, but to me, I'm not a fan. Me, after I do this review, because I'm keeping this watch, I'm gonna hit it with a Scotch-Brite pad and I'm gonna do vertical brushing on it. So I'll do that after I do this review. But it's got chunky crown guards, which is pretty dope. It's a thick bezel. I don't know if you can tell, but that thing, that boy, thick boy. That's a thick ass boy. But yeah, 120 clicks, unidirectional, nice, crisp. You can time your dive, get it lined back up. Hey, so you can time your dive, your pizza, or how long your significant other gives you the silent treatment after buying another dive watch. It has a flat sapphire crystal. Flat as my ex-wife's ass. One day I might have to post a picture of her on here. But yeah, it's clear, tough, and slightly reflective. It gives you just enough distortion that you look heroic when you tilt it under the light. Yeah, boy. It's such a good looking watch. This flat sapphire crystal, clear, tough, and slightly reflective. It gives you enough distortion to look heroic when you tilt it under the light. And this orange lume, it looks like someone took traffic safety paint and said, make it glow underwater. Movement talk. Inside beats the NH35, the dependable Toyota Hilux of movements. You can hack it, hand wind it, it'll run forever on a diet of gravity and neglect. Power reserve, around 41 hours. Accuracy, good enough for a guy who tells time by sunlight and the smell of barbecue. If you want Swiss precision, pay Swiss prices. But for a few $100, this NH35 is beast. Serviceable, reliable, and proven. No snobbery required. So all you pinky finger up yeah, kick rocks. All right, now let's talk about this 24mm engineer bracelet. It's thick, it's solid, it probably weighs more than your smartwatch collection. It's got a sturdy clasp, simple, secure, and with enough metal to set off every airport scanner for a 10-foot radius. I probably should have cleaned this thing before I had this thing outside in the water. But y'all had me out there on location getting some footage. But anyway, if you got a big wrist, this bracelet makes sense. If you got a small wrist, this might double as a medieval shackle. But hey, maybe that's your kink. Comfort-wise, it's surprisingly wearable. Once you size it right, it sits flush, doesn't rattle, and it feels like it could survive a bar fight or a deep sea rescue mission. All right, so this is where the Big Wrist Syndicate lives, at 46.5mm. It's not pretending to be dainty. On my 8.5-inch wrist, it actually balances well, probably because it's made of the same stuff as submarine hulls. It's bold, unapologetic, and yeah, you might occasionally knock it against a door frame, but that's not a design flaw, that's a power move. Now let's address the elephant in the Mariana Trench. 2,000 meters. Look, unless you're Aquaman or an oil rig diver with a death wish, you're never testing that. But that rating tells you something important. The seals, gaskets, and build quality are serious. Steeldive doesn't mess around with their specs, even if the marketing is a bit extra. For the average dude, 2,000 meters means peace of mind. Swim, shower, dive, wash your car, forget to take it off in a hurricane, you're covered. Now let's talk about the pros and cons. Pros, huge presence. You'll never need to squint to see the time. It has legit NH35 automatic movement. It has ridiculous water resistance for bragging rights if nothing else. It has great lumen visibility and it's insane value for money. Under $300 gets you in this tank. Now the cons, it's big. Like, small wrist people will look like they're wearing a hubcap. Steeldive's quality control is usually solid, but sometimes you get close enough alignment. For me, I got lucky and this thing lines up perfect. Perfect! The bracelet's heavy, but if you're used to light watches, you'll notice. But for me, all my watches are big and I can feel it, but it's not cumbersome. That 200-meter rating might be overkill, but it's fun to flex. All right, real talk. The Steeldive 87HH-05L isn't trying to be subtle. It's not a watch that you wear to the opera. It's a watch you wear when you're building the opera house underwater. For the price, it's ridiculous in the best way. Big, bold, mechanical, automatic, everything the Big Wrist Syndicate stands for. It's the perfect. I'm not paying Rolex money, but still want wrist dominance piece. If I had to rate it, it's a 10 out of 10. Big wrist points. Would I wear it? Absolutely. Do I plan on wearing it? Absolutely. Would I sleep with it on? Probably not. Not unless I want to dislocate my shoulder again. So that's the Steeldive 87HH-05L on the 24mm engineer's bracelet, the affordable deep sea tank that laughs in the face of pressure. If you enjoyed this review, hit that like button, subscribe to the Big Wrist Syndicate, and drop a comment below telling me the biggest watch you own. And no, Apple Ultra doesn't count. I'm Joey, reminding you that life's too short for small watches. Y'all stay saucy, keep it funky, and I'm out. Peace.